Hello everyone, my name is Darklek. It is episode 4 of our Hardcore All the Mods Minecraft series. In this episode, we are going to be going ahead and mining ourselves some Netherite, some Allthemodium, as well as gain access to the mining dimension. Now before we start this video, I just want to say that Happy New Year's to everyone, because at the time of recording this, it is New Year's. I want to wish you all an absolutely amazing New Year's. Hopefully this next year will hold a lot for us. I can tell you I have a lot of big plans for this channel within this next year, and my goal is to publish as many videos as I can and become a full-time content creator within that time. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this video. Now, as you guys can see right behind us, in the last episode, we actually went ahead and got ourselves this mob farm, which this has been giving us some loot that we very much needed, like the slime balls, this fine silk, the ender pearls, and even these leather scraps, which basically enable us to turn this leather, turn this straight into leather, which is incredibly useful since now we have basically a leather farm, even though we didn't really need to do much for it. It's incredibly useful, and that is going to be coming in handy really well. But what I want to do today, which, by the way, I didn't do this in the last episode, or the episode before that, which I kind of find interesting, since this is literally, like, one of the big purposes for this series. But we're going to go ahead and collect all of our quest lines, and it looks like we didn't really get anything that useful. Now, if we go ahead and look into here, one of the things we need for our questline is we need to get ourselves some Netherite, and then after that, we're going to need to get ourselves some Allthemodium. That is the goal for this episode, is to get Netherite and Allthemodium, and then gain access to this, which is the mining dimension. Now, getting the mining dimension isn't going to be the easiest thing, because to get Allthemodium, we have to go into the deep dark, which is where the warden spawns, and I do not have the best memories with the warden, so we're gonna have to do our best to survive there, and we're gonna need to get ourselves some Netherite tools. Now, there is actually a way to bypass needing to use this template, because if you don't know, first of all, you need to get a Netherite tool to even be able to mine this stuff. And then you also need a smithing template, which can only be found from a bastion. And if you couldn't tell from our armor, we really don't have a good enough set here to be able to effectively do that. So, in turn, we're going to actually go use the mod Silent Gear to get past this barrier. Now, how are we going to do that? Very simple. There is a blueprint for the Silent Gear mod called a coating. And this basically applies like a netherite effect. Like it makes it as strong as netherite without actually having to use a smithing template. And it's honestly the best way to get it early on when you don't have the materials or the strength to be able to do it the other way, which would be getting the smithing template. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to go ahead and actually craft this up. And to do that, we're going to be needing some blueprint paper, which is really easy to make. It's just paper and blue dye. So let's go ahead and craft that bad boy up. Alright, and just like that, if we just go ahead and combine this paper and blue dye into here, we are going to get ourselves some blueprint paper. And this is actually going to give us a quest line in here that is going to be very helpful, because this is going to give us something called a blueprint package. And now I need to really quickly clear out my inventory, and the reason for that is if we go ahead and open this, as you can see in the corner, it gives us a bunch of blueprints. So we basically don't need to craft any of those blueprints, and we just get to have them, which is going to be incredibly useful, as a lot of these, like the tool rod, are going to be used quite often. Now, what we're going to now need to do is we're going to go ahead and make this blueprint coating, which is just a diamond and an emerald. And if we go ahead and put these into a crafting table, we get ourselves these coating blueprints. Now, to store all these because we don't ideally want to hold all of these just in our inventory. What we want to do is we want to make a blueprint book. And to do that, we're going to need ourselves some wool, a book, a gold ingot, and some template boards. So let's go ahead and really quickly craft that up. And just like that, we have all the materials to make ourselves this blueprint book, which what this does is we can basically just put all of our blueprints into here, and then we can just, this book basically can just head into here, and we can just cycle through these blueprints, and we can just select whatever one we need, and it'll act like all of those blueprints in a single item. It is incredibly useful, and we are going to end up using that a lot. Now, without wasting any time, let's go ahead and just head straight into the Nether. And we're gonna need to get dug down to where Netherite is. So where I like to mine is Y level 15. So we're gonna go ahead in here and we're gonna just dig down. So let's go ahead and dig actually in this direction, because if we look at the mini-map, it's more likely that we're gonna dig straight into lava if we go the other way. So yeah, I'll see you guys when I reach down at Y level 15. Alright guys, and we are now down at Y level 15, so we're gonna go ahead and just dig off a little bit into this direction, and we're gonna go ahead and look for this netherite. We realistically just need, I believe, a single netherite scrap to make ourselves a thing of netherite site. And this is something that brewing stand is going to come in handy for. If I am not mistaken, you can just make netherite site using a single scrap. And yes, you can. Oh, that is going to be so nice. Okay, so to look for this, we're going to turn on our chunk borders. And we are going to go ahead and just, like, ultimine this entire area. Because what we're going to end up doing is we're going to be looking for this in a single chunk. Because a single piece of netherite is guaranteed to spawn in every single chunk. So we're going to just go to this chunk area, and we're going to just dig. And we're going to just look around until we can find ourselves some netherite. And the good news is, our pickaxe most likely isn't going to end up breaking, because we have ourselves a repair kit, so we can just heal it when it needs healing. But with this, we're going to end up finding netherite rather easily. At least I do believe we will. So let's just keep looking. So while I was mining in that direction to try to look for some netherite, I came across this quartz, and because we needed quartz, I went ahead and was trying to ultimine it, but my setting was set to the wrong thing, and instead I was digging a small tunnel, which just digs in a 1-block radius for 64 blocks. And I did that, and right there is some ancient debris. That is some very comedic timing. So that is really nice. We're going to go ahead and mine this. We're going to quickly turn off the small tunnel. We're going to just go ahead and get this ancient debris. And with this ancient debris, we actually don't need to find some more right now, as because of this, we're going to just be able to look for it, and it's going to be incredibly easy. I'll just show you. Also, I never went ahead and did this, but we're going to go ahead and place down a waystone here for our home. The reason why this is important is now I can just carry this waystone with me, and we can basically, if we ever need to, just place down the waystone and just teleport back to our home whenever we need to. Now, what we're going to go ahead and actually do is we are going to go ahead and smelt this ancient debris. Now, I know that I could or double it or actually even triple it, but at this point in time, to triple it would require me to go into mechanism. And right now, I don't want to do that right now. I'm more or less focused on getting some Allthemodium, as that's going to open us up to a lot more things early on. And with this netherite scrap, we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a very powerful potion. And yes, you heard me right, we are going to be brewing ourselves some potions. Specifically, we are going to be brewing ourselves some netherite site. And this potion is incredibly overpowered, and you'll see why this mod in general, the Potions Master mod, is so overpowered to begin with. So first off, let's go ahead and actually make this netherite site by putting ourselves some... we're going to need an ender pearl really quick, so let's go ahead and grab this. And then we're going to go ahead and just crush that up into ender powder. And then we're going to throw this ender powder in with netherite and get ourselves some netherite powder. What we're going to do with that is we're then going to go ahead and cook up this netherite powder. This is going to take longer than normal to actually cook up because this is a, quote, thicker substance for the furnace, so it's going to be just a little bit longer to actually go ahead and cook than, like, most items. But once we get this fully cooked, it is going to give us calcinated netherite powder. And what this is going to be able to do for us is we just throw it into here with mundane potions, which, as you guys probably already saw, you get this from brewing sugar in this. And then once this is done, this is going to give us a potion of netherite site. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that this is incredibly overpowered. Now, if we go ahead and head back into our mine where we were before and drink this netherite site potion... Yeah, that's netherite. This potion basically gives us free netherite x-ray. It is so overpowered. Like, all we're going to need to do is we're going to just need to mine this way, just a few blocks, and boom, netherite. This is going to save us so much time and so much hassle, and it is completely normal to even be able to do this. And the fun part is, this is actually balanced, and it's balanced by the fact that in the late game, you're not going to be mining. You're going to be heading on and going and making giant farms for this stuff. But early game, the potion site mod is so overpowered, and it is going to save us so much time. Like, it is going to be an absolute lifesaver, and we're just going to go ahead and dig around for a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and just get as much of this ancient debris as we can within the time span of the remainder of this potion. And after all of this mining, we went ahead and got ourselves a total of 19 ancient debris, which is a lot, but it's not even close to what we're going to end up needing later on. But it is really good early, so we're going to go ahead and just type /home, and we're going to head back home, and I do actually think it would be smart for us to triple this ore. And how we do that is we go through mechanism, and we just get ourselves a crusher to get dirty netherite scrap. And to get this, it's not even that difficult. We're just going to need to make ourselves a steel casing, some basic control circuits, and some lava. And we're going to go ahead and get ourselves a crusher. Now, while we wait, since we actually have wool, because if you guys didn't know, the reason I am gathering these tattered cloths is because if you combine 4 of them together, it gives us 2 wool. And what we needed that wool for in the first place is we can go ahead now and make ourselves some elevators. These are exactly what I was trying to get for a very long time, and I'm going to go ahead and show you why these were so badly needed, because I can promise you this is about to be really, really nice. So as you can see, we cleared out this little area. There is now no longer any ladders that are up there, but if we go ahead and place these elevators like so, we can just step on top of it, jump, and now we can just easily and effortlessly teleport up and down. Man, this is going to be so nice. And I can already tell you that this is going to be used for more than just this base. It's probably also going to be used in the mining dimension. And I'm going to end up showing why relatively soon. And now that we've gone ahead and gotten everything, we can finally go ahead and make this crusher. And what this crusher is going to allow us to do is if we set it down right here, we can just throw our ancient debris right into here. It's going to crush that up into dirty netherite. And then we can just throw it into this enrichment chamber. And boom. We're going to get 3 netherite scrap per ancient debris, which means we basically farmed ourselves almost 60 netherite scrap. That is a lot of netherite, and I can tell you that that will be plenty for everything that we are going to end up doing, including the fact that we are going to end up getting this Allthemodium. And now with this netherite scrap, we can finally go ahead and craft ourselves our first netherite ingot. Oh, that feels so good to craft. And now, if we go ahead and take this blueprint book, and we switch this over to the coding blueprint, and put this netherite into here, we can get ourselves this netherite coating. And what this is going to allow us to do is if we put our diamond pickaxe right into here, as you can see, we now have a netherite diamond pickaxe. And that is insanely powerful. And it is going to be able to now mine us some Allthemodium. However, before we do go, I am going to go ahead and upgrade our armor. And we're going to do that with refined obsidian armor. Actually, guys, I think we're going to try to risk it for the biscuit. And we're just going to go try to get ourselves some ancient debris. I mean, well, guys, I have decided that because we do not have enough diamonds right now, we actually can't afford to make ourselves this refined obsidian armor. So we're just gonna go straight ahead and get this Allthemodium. So we're gonna have to be very careful, as if we make any mistakes, it could likely be the end of this run, and that is quite risky. Especially considering that our armor is only up to osmium. But we're gonna have to try. At this point, we really need that Allthemodium, because Allthemodium basically gatekeeps us from a lot of things later in this mod. So we're kind of forced to go ahead and go get it. And now that we're actually able to with this pickaxe, it's just a risk that we're going to have to take. Now that we have everything that we are going to need for this trip, let's go ahead and just do this. Let's look up Deep Dark. We're going to go ahead and look for this and hope that it's not too far away. And it does not look like the Deep Dark is that far away, which slightly terrifies me. But let's go ahead and let's head over there to the Deep Dark. Well, guys, I finally arrived, and this is actually, like, really terrifying to me, because I read from somewhere that if the Deep Dark, which it is in this direction, if the Deep Dark is in a mountains biome, it has a increased chance of being an ancient city. That terrifies me, because that means there are going to be a lot of shriekers, and I don't know if I'm ready for that. But you know what? We're here. Oh boy. Let's dig down to the Deep Dark. And guys, we have found it. We are officially in the Deep Dark. I just got the achievement for it. At least, I believe it was in the quest line thing. Yes, we got the achievement for Visit the Deep Dark, and that is because it is right here. However, there is an issue. This guy is following me. I don't really want him following me, because he could very well trigger the, he could trigger the skulk sensors to go off, so we're gonna try to dig very quietly in this direction, and I'm just making sure that I don't hear any shriekers. The one thing I don't love about hardcore Minecraft is and especially when going to the Deep Dark, this gives me such bad anxiety. But it looks like we're not quite there yet. We need to dig this way a bit more. We need to be extremely quiet. I'm so nervous. According to the minimap, we should be right next to it. And it looks like it should be like right here. Let's Let's be very quiet. I'm sorry if I don't talk too much. That is Skulk. Okay. The good news about this... Oh boy. This is terrifying. This is where things could go very south for us. Okay. As far as I know, there are no Skulk sensors around here, because if there were, I would have probably ended up triggering one. I have no clue if that's a chest. I have to be so careful. Let's go ahead and let's just dig down this way. We're gonna take this extremely carefully. I want no risks. We need to be extremely careful. However, the good news is it doesn't look like there's any Skulk sensors or Shriekers around here. I'm just worried that that's a mimic. Because those guys are... No way! It's right here! And there's two! What? You're kidding! Dude, that is so lucky. We don't even have to really... That's it. I'm not going any further. Nope. But before we leave, we are going to go ahead and actually, we're gonna go check out this chest. I still don't know if that's a mimic. Okay, it's not a mimic. Let's go ahead and check this chest. That terrified me. We get a golden apple, some copper, some string, and that's about it. The rest of this isn't really useful. Dude, the fact that we found it immediately right in front of us, and the fact that there's also just no Skulk sensors at all, clearly luck is on our side. And let's get out of here before that very quickly changes. But if you guys, yeah, this is literally what we came for. This right here, this is Allthemodium ore. This is gonna be amazing. Let's go. Let's head back home. Let's not waste a second and let's get out of here. And now that we are home, we're gonna go ahead and take this ore hammer and we're gonna go ahead and double our Allthemodium. And we're gonna go ahead and just put that in there. Oh my gosh. The fact that we got it immediately is insane. I never find it immediately, and the fact that we did in this run is just insane. And there was not even any Skulk sensors. That's the other crazy thing. Is it didn't even take that much at all. That's the other just absolutely insane part. As you can tell by my voice, I'm very excited. This ore opens up so much for us. Like, not even just like a tiny bit. This opens up a completely different dimension that is going to help us significantly in this run. And with that said and done, here we are. That is our Allthemodium ingots. This is huge. This is going to help us so much, and I am going to immediately show you what we are going to do with it. So all we need is an ender pearl, and then we're going to take our Allthemodium, and we're going to turn one of these into nuggets. And what we're going to do is, in a crafting table, where you're going to get 4 nuggets and a ender pearl, and we're going to go ahead and craft ourselves the teleport pad. Dude, this opens up so much, and there's a quest for it. Let's go ahead and claim that. We get another Allthemodium! Dude, luck just has to be on our side. That is insane. We're saving this. We're saving that until we can use fortune on it and get some more Allthemodium. That is insane. We got ourselves another piece of Allthemodium for completely free. We are insanely lucky, guys. And now with this teleport pad, we're going to go ahead and head up here, and we're going to just place it in this corner. And now, if we go ahead and take off our shield, we're going to go ahead and head on into this dimension. And as you guys can see, this is a super flat world, but not just any super flat world. No, this super flat world contains ores from every single vanilla Minecraft dimension, including the modded variants in those dimensions, which means this has the normal level, the deep slate level, the nether level, and the end level. So we can get ores from all of those dimensions within this mining dimension. And on top of that, this world cannot spawn mobs. As you can see, it is just a super flat, and there is no way for it to spawn mobs. This is going to help us so much, as this world we are going to basically use for things, for big builds that require us to not risk having a mob ruin it. And also for force loading things that can go vertically. Because if you look at our Y coordinate, which is probably really hard to see, we are currently at Y level 253, which means this goes about 360 blocks down. And that means we can build a lot vertically, and we can just fill an area with a chunk loaded area with so much stuff. It is going to be so helpful. Like, this dimension unlocks so much for us. And in the next episode, we're going to actually go ahead and build a quarry here, because a quarry is going to be the reason that this dimension is so OP, because we can just quarry out every single OP ore, and every ore in the game. And if you even take a look here, just look at how much of this stuff is just gatewayed by this Allthemodium. There is so much, like, even like just overpowered loot, like armor and chest plates and things like that. The compressor, the spawners, there's just so much that is just blocked by the fact of you needing netherite. I mean, Allthemodium. And with this, we unlock all of that. And one of the things that we are going to actually end up making with this Allthemodium is a builder. And this is the builder from RF Tools. And as you can see, you need Allthemodium for this thing. And what this thing basically is going to let us do is we're basically going to do the opposite of build, and we're going to turn this builder into our quarry, because there is in fact an item called the quarry card from RF Tools, which would be right here, which is the fortune quarry. And we can get just the fortune clearing quarry. And this thing isn't even that hard to make. We're just going to need to get ourselves a gas tier, and then we're going to need to make ourselves a quarry card, which this thing isn't even that expensive. But that is going to be something that we are going to do in the next episode. As in this episode, we are going to need to go ahead and actually upgrade our gear, and we're going to need an energy source for this to actually work. So we're going to go ahead and prep for the making of this giant quarry. Now, to prepare for the fact of us getting the quarry set up, we are going to actually need to get two things beforehand. We're going to need ourselves an infinite source of lava, and we're going to need ourselves an infinite source of blaze rods. And you guys may have not saw this, but in the Nether, on the minimap, there was in fact a underground dungeon. And that underground dungeon, I know for a fact, spawns with blaze spawners. And what we're going to need to get for that is we are going to get those spawners using a pickaxe that has silk touch, except it's not going to have the enchant silk touch. It is going to be a brass pickaxe. And the reason we want a brass pickaxe is because it comes with the attribute silky. It won't show here because the text is too big, but all we're going to need to get for that is zinc and copper, and we can just turn this into a pickaxe, and we can basically just silk touch the spawners, and then we're going to be able to put those in our mob farm and get ourselves infinite blaze rods. And now with these brass ingots, we can go ahead and make ourselves a pickaxe head. All we're going to need to do is put our blueprint book into here, make sure it's on the pickaxe blueprint, and as you can see, this is going to be our brass pickaxe head. And we're going to really quickly get ourselves some sticks. We're going to just put our a stick into here with this pickaxe head, and we're going to go ahead and make this brass pickaxe. And now what we're going to need to go do is we're going to go ahead and head back into the Nether and head over to that dungeon. And as you guys can see, we've gone ahead and found ourselves this place. I saw it on the minimap when I was over here, because as you can see, these were our old mining tunnels. And over here, we have ourselves our giant underground dungeon. And we are going to go ahead and look through here, because I know somewhere in here that this place spawns blazes. And what do you know? There's the blaze spawner right there. That didn't take long at all. Let's go ahead and try putting out these flames before we actually take this spawner. Alright, and now what we need to do is we need to get our brass pickaxe, and then we're going to just mine this. And then boom, we got ourselves a blaze spawner. And that doesn't need to be the end of it. Let's go ahead and just keep looking, because ideally we can get like 2 of these blaze spawners. And even then, as many of these spawners that we can get, the better, because we can eventually just change these out for different mobs if we need them. However, I definitely want to get another blaze spawner, because another blaze spawner would be so perfect right now. And as you could see on the minimap, if we go down a layer, this is massive. Like, this is a massive, like, dungeon kind of area. So let's go ahead and head behind this, and let's keep looking for ourselves a blaze spawner. And there's a chest right there, and I believe right over there is a blaze spawner. But let's see what's in this chest. There's a... Ooh! Okay, so this backpack is going to be so useful. Why? If we go ahead and take off our backpack really quick, this didn't have anything in it, and we go ahead and slap this on instead. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure this gives night vision. Provides seeing in the dark. So how do I activate that for, potentially? Oh, there we go. Ability enabled. And then there we go. We have night vision. Permanent night vision. That is going to make this so good. Like, that is going to help us so much. However, it doesn't look like there's anything else useful in here. So let's just keep looking for this blaze spawner. And as you guys can see, we have found ourselves another spawner. That dude was strong. That actually really hurt. Oh boy. We better be careful, because if we let that happen too many times, that could be really bad. Alright, let's pick this up. Those dudes were not, like, weak. That was a really strong boss spawner. Well, looks like we got what we came for. Let's go ahead and get this quartz. Oh. I did not mean to do that, but you know what? It's fine. Alright. Let's go ahead and head on home, and we're going to go ahead and place these spawners in our mob farm. And now that we're actually home, we're going to quickly disable our backpack's ability. Which will fade off in a second. But what we're going to end up doing is we're going to turn this on, so no more mobs are spawning. And we're going to just go ahead and quickly break into here. Let's actually, to make this easier on us, let's go ahead and turn off our fans. So now none of these should be on. And now we can kind of just really easily walk into here. And now right here, we're going to just break this block. Oh. Well, he's just chilling there. So we can't have that. So, alright. Now we're going to just break this block right here. Okay, that every time I hear that sound, it just terrifies me. We're going to go ahead and place a piece of blackstone here. And then we're going to put both of our mob spawners here. Now, these won't ignore players, so to have these activate, we will have to be in our actual, like, area. However, it should be fine for the most part. Let's turn this on. And then we're going to go ahead and, where... Oh, the glass is gone. We're gonna need to go ahead and get some glass for that soon, because otherwise we may have a problem in our hands. Alright, and now we are back to being completely good. What we're gonna need to do, really quickly, is we are actually gonna need to go ahead and get these, blaze rod drops. We're gonna allow list them, so that way now we're finally going to end up getting those drops. It doesn't look like emeralds are a thing in here, so we're going to get rid of that. And we're going to put these blazing cores, molten cores, into here. Because we can use these to basically give us magma cream, if I am not mistaken. Yes, a single one gives us magma cream. So we're going to allow list that. And then we're going to enable this farm again. And now... we should be entirely good. Let's go ahead and with this recent sound, we're going to go ahead and turn off the blaze sounds. Because these guys are never going to shoot. But now that we have that, we're finally getting a consistent source of blaze rods. And now all we need to do is we need to set up a source for us to get an infinite amount of lava. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how we're going to do that. And now with these blaze rods, we can actually go ahead and get ourselves these things called ender tanks. These things are extremely useful, as basically these act like long distance ender chests. These act basically just exactly like ender chests, except you can code these to different codes and you can make them do different things. And these are ender tanks which store fluid. And why is this going to be so important? Well, these are basically going to hold our lava. And we're going to have it transfer that lava into our base so that we can use our lava in our base without actually ever needing to go to the nether. And speaking of nether, that is where we're going to need to put this item. And we are going to go to the create mod and we are going to craft ourselves this item called the hose pulley. It is really easy to craft. We just need a copper plate, a copper casing, and a dried kelp log. We have the kelp for it right here. We're going to go ahead and cook that up. We're going to go ahead and put all but one into here. We also got this platinum, which as you're going to see, we're going to quickly grab ourselves some sticks. And we're going to upgrade our ore hammers from copper to platinum. And these guys have a lot of durability. So we'll be able to ore dibble a lot. I don't know why I said double. I mean dibble or whatever I said. But anyways, while this is going, we're going to go ahead and get ourselves a copper casing. And getting copper casings is actually relatively simple. All we need is a piece of copper, which... for whatever reason, is just not here. There it is. And then we're going to need to get ourselves a log. We're going to go ahead and punch it and get ourselves a log. What we're going to do with this is we're going to place it down, strip it, and then all we need to do is get a single piece of copper, right-click onto it, and as you can see, this has now become a copper casing. Incredibly useful, and that is just how you are going to end up getting the casings in here. Now, all we need to do to get the rest of for this hose pulley is we are going to need to make ourselves a copper plate. And we just got the hammer for this, so let's go ahead and make ourselves a copper plate, which is just 2 copper, just like that. Bada bing, bada boom, we get ourselves a copper plate. And now what we are going to need to end up doing is we're going to grab this, this kelp. We're going to go ahead and store that really quick. We're going to turn this kelp into a dried kelp block, and then, just like this, we get ourselves a hose pulley. And this is how we're going to be able to get ourselves some infinite lava. However, we do need to craft ourselves a hand crank really quick. And now with this, we can get ourselves a hand crank. All we needed was this andesite alloy, which is incredibly easy to make. All you need to make it is 2 iron nuggets and 2 andesite. And with this, we are going to be able to do what we needed to do. However, before we do that, we're going to quickly go ahead and we are going to get ourselves a fluid pipe. And to get a fluid pipe, all we're going to need to do is get these buckets and redstone and some iron. Like I said, even though we craft a bunch of these extra buckets, it is actually going to be beneficial for us to make as much extra as possible. And we're going to go ahead and grab our iron out of this iron farm. And then we're going to go ahead and head down here. We get now our redstone in here, which we've been getting plenty of redstone. We're going to go ahead and throw that gunpowder into there. And then we're going to go ahead and craft ourselves this fluid pipe, which we're actually missing a single bucket. That is fine. All we're going to need to do is make ourselves an extra bucket. And just like that, we now got ourselves some fluid pipes. And what this is going to allow us to do is we can now basically go up and set this. However, we are going to need to be careful because to do this, we are going to need to bridge directly over lava. And as you probably guessed, that can end really badly. Okay, so my game decided to crash and delete basically a little more than half of my inventory. So I had to remake the hose pulley, fluid pipe, and hand crank, as well as re-get the dyes that I initially had. So that was annoying, but we're now in here, and we are ready to go ahead and do that. I'm going to start getting a bunch of achievements because my game just decided to break. Again, I'm sorry. I don't know why it broke. I can't exactly explain that to you, but just know that it did, in fact, decide to break, and it's really stupid. But anyways, what we're going to do is with this now, we're going to have to build up and over to this lava, which is terrifying because, as you know, wither skeletons spawn around here. It takes one wither skeleton to completely end my run, and that would be absolutely horrendous. So we're gonna build on out as fast as we can. And I do believe that this will be plenty of space. So we're going to go ahead and build this out while making sure that there are no wither skeletons. And yeah, let's go ahead and just finish up this platform. Alright, and as you could see, we went ahead and finished building this. Now, how this works is, first of all, we're going to make sure that this is within a chunk, and it looks like this is just barely inside this chunk. So we're going to go ahead and set it all up like this. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and place down this hose pulley, and then we're going to break the block directly underneath it, which would be this cobblestone block. I don't know why I decided to place it back down. You couldn't pay me $100 to tell you why I would do that, but you know, I did it, so it happened. So then we're going to go ahead and put this hand crank here. And we're going to go ahead and just crank this hose pulley down. We're going to wait until it hits the bottom of the lava lake. That's when we'll know that it is done. And then there we go. We're going to quickly go ahead and eat because turning that does, in fact, drain our hunger. Then what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and grab these fluid pipes. We're going to connect it here. And then we're going to place our ender tank right here. And we're going to actually quickly go ahead and change the dye color on this so that it is different than just purely gray. I want to make these colors unique so that way we know exactly what is being used and what isn't being used. So let's go ahead now. And we're going to actually get a wrench. And it's really easy to actually get a wrench. We just go to the create mod and then claim this quest, and then boom, we get ourselves a wrench. Very useful. And then we're going to go ahead and shift right click that. And as you can see, we got 2 achievements, which is industrial spillage and then tapping into the mantle. Pump into a body of lava large enough to be considered infinite. This is now, as you can see, filling up with lava. And we're actually going to get an upgrade for this so that this can actually pump lava faster. So let's go ahead and grab that upgrade. And now we have come back with a improved pipe upgrade, which if you are wondering how we made this, it was really simple. We just got ourselves a basic pipe upgrade, and then we upgraded that to a gold one, and it's not even that expensive. Then we're just going to go ahead and put that into here, and now this will be transferring 500 millibuckets of lava every tick. So that is going to be incredibly helpful. Now, for this to be chunk loaded, we're going to go ahead in here, and we are going to just chunk load this area. Now this will be pumping lava no matter what. So let's go ahead now and head back to our base, and we are going to set up the lava pump for our side of the base. And now if we just head over here, we're going to go ahead and place some cobblestone down like so. And then we're going to go ahead and place this ender tank right here, and we are going to dye this middle part green. And as you can see, this is now holding the lava from in the nether. And if we go ahead and place these fluid pipes underneath this, this is now going to be drawing lava from this chest, and we can just set this up for whatever. And this is going to be useful for the mod that we are going to be getting in called Power. And that all is going to be in the next episode. However, if you take a look here, if we were to grab ourselves a bucket really quick, let's just go ahead and empty out this water. If we were to go ahead and, as you can see, there's 32,000 millibuckets in here. If we were to just go ahead and right-click this, it is still at 32, even though we have ourselves a lava bucket. And with this, we can now use this lava for whatever, and we can make ourselves an infinite amount of obsidian, which this is going to be useful because we are going to end up needing a lot of obsidian for a lot of different things. So having access to an infinite amount of obsidian is insanely helpful. Also, as we are looking in here, we can kind of see that we are running out of storage. And thankfully, because we went to the nether, we can actually go ahead and set up a mod called Refined Storage. And that will solve basically all of our problems. And this is thanks to the fact that now we have quartz and a constant supply of slimes. And all you guys need to know about this mod is the fact that this mod is insanely powerful because with a controller, a grid, and a disk drive, with a couple of these disks, we can store a crap ton of items and even eventually upgrade it so that it can hold an infinite amount of items. And that is insanely powerful. Like, it's going to solve all of our problems, and it will be amazing. To summarize, in the next episode, you should look to expect for that we are going to be getting a clearing quarry using the RF Tools Builder. We are going to be setting up ourselves a way better storage than what we have right now that'll be able to hold thousands upon thousands of items, and expect for us to get better and even wireless power. Thank you guys so much for watching till the very end of this episode. If you guys are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, as each and every one of those gets me one step closer to becoming a full-time content creator. And if you guys don't know, if you join my Patreon, I will be putting and shouting out people who sign up through the tier 2 and above. They will be getting a special sign in a room in this base, and they will be shouted out every single episode. So if you guys want that, I would highly recommend checking out my Patreon. The link will be in the description. But anyways, thank you guys all for stopping by, and until next time, peace out.